D18 Tonight. I'm Nestor Licanto. We pick up the pace heading straight into the general elections. And with us tonight are two senatorial candidates, Sabina Perez, a Democrat, and Jenei Aguon, a Republican. Thanks for joining us tonight, ladies.
Thank you, Nestor.
Thank you.
Let me just let you know that this is a little bit different from previous pre-primary presentations, D18s that we have. This will be a little bit more conversational, and we will try to take a few questions from our Facebook audience. And so anytime you feel like you want to jump in, just go ahead and jump in. Let me get it all started, and let me ask you to just tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're running, and what you bring to the table. We can start with you, Jenei.
Oh, I'm kidding. Okay, Hafide, Guam. My name is Jenei Aguon, and I get so nervous. So I'm number 6 on the Republican side of the ballot, and I guess a lot of the reasons, the main reason why I'm running is, to sum it up, to improve the quality of life for our families here on island. A lot of people don't know that my husband and I, we were both laid off at the same time, well, a week apart, a week before our son's 10th birthday. And so, you know, we were unemployed, we were on public assistance, food stamp and welfare, and I'm not even embarrassed to say that. And then, but by the grace of God and the help of our family and friends, we were able to rise up, become small business owners, and then eventually finding a stable job. And I bring that up because a lot of families on island go through those kinds of issues. And I think because I've experienced those issues and I've seen it firsthand, I can take my experiences to be able to improve the quality of life for other families here on island.
Thank you very much. And you, Sabina?
Hafide, Guam, Guahusi Sabina Perez, Familia Godzo and Cabeza. As you know, I resigned from my position as Simon Sanchez High School teacher of the past 9 years. And prior to that, I was involved in the science field as well, and I also dedicated hundreds of hours as a community organizer for the past 15 years. So what I bring to the table is leadership skills that combine my experience, my hard work, and passion to help address the financial problems and other issues that we face in our island today. In addition, I do have many ideas that how we can promote sustainability as a way to look forward to the future.
Okay. The conventional wisdom is that there are two main issues that the voters, that stand out among the voters. One is the economy, the other is public safety. Let's tackle the economy first. As you mentioned, there are a lot of people out there that are still struggling, working paycheck to paycheck. How would you specifically address the economic situation here on island?
Before addressing the economic situation we have on the island, I really think we need to look at our people and furthering our people's education through programs, be it work, work trainings, anything to be able to get them to the level that they can achieve. And that's why one of my platforms is small business or entrepreneurship. And I really believe in this because I think that a lot of people don't have options when they actually have options already. I like to bring up the fact that when I go to the night markets, you meet a lot of people, and so you see people who are selling like Dinancy or Pika jelly, and what people don't know is it's really hard to be able to become a legit business selling Dinancy. Like there was a guy that I met, he has a mango tree in the back of his house, and he makes really good mango jelly. And to be able to supplement his income, he can sell that. But in order to become a legit business, he needs to go through all these requirements that is almost the same as opening up a legit business, a restaurant.
So you would actually try to bring down some of those government barriers to...
I want to be able to look at the ways where... I want to be able to look at the process of opening a business to make it easier for regular people to be able to open their business to supplement their income.
Okay, Sabina, jump in there.
Okay, so sure. As you know, there is about 170 million to 200 million of uncollected taxes. So that's where the first place I would start. And looking at closing all the loopholes where people are getting away with paying their taxes is one thing. Also, in addition to that, it's important to develop economies. One of my ideas is in promoting social entrepreneurship, which is a business combined with addressing the social environmental issues of our society. And I also would like to promote creating an economy that's based on use of renewable resources. And what I mean by that, renewable resources is not necessarily, it's in addition to this, renewable energy, it's also about looking towards our people as far as creativity is concerned, as well as looking at Guam as a hub of our telecommunications. We haven't fully taken advantage of that position, a strategic position as a hub. Also, as you know, with the Trump tax cut, that really hurt our government as far as the amount of revenues pouring in. But with that Trump tax bill, there was something that was developed called the Opportunity Hub. And that's something that we need to look into amongst other programs out there that we haven't really fully.
We got to take a real quick break. Thank you very much. We'll be back in just a moment. Please stay with us.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that and I've replaced them with the white fillings and I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
Welcome back to D18 Tonight. We are taking your questions on Facebook, so please send them in to the studio. We'll continue now with our conversation with Jenei Aguon and Sabina Perez. And earlier we talked about the impact of public safety and some of the concerns. One, of course, is the scourge of drugs. What are some of the things that you would do, Sabina, to address that issue?
So one of the things I would look at is the roots of the issues of drugs. So when you look at the problems of drugs in our community, I think it has to do with the healing and why people turn to drugs. And I feel that there's, I think we need to look at the roots of the problem when it comes to drugs, in addition to the, how it's getting into Guam as well. So you look at the supply and the demand aspects of both of those.
Okay. And Jenei?
I can't agree with her more. Like, you hit it on the spot. We really do need to look at the root of the issue. And during my time at the Department of Public Health and Social Services, CPS, I worked with a lot of families who were going through issues regarding drugs, having their children taken away because of drugs. And so one of the things is definitely looking at the root of the issue and just giving them options. A lot of the times these families don't think they have any option. And that's something that I've noticed across the board with all the families I've helped. They don't think they have any options. They don't know what programs are available to them. So it's just really educating them and getting to the root of the issue to mitigate before it gets out of hand.
Another aspect of the public safety concerns, and the governor just met with the president of the FSM,
Yes.
and we've seen on social media a lot of videos circulating of violent incidents having to do with a certain segment of the population. And in fact, I think the president of the FSM commented that he was concerned that the bulk of the FSM community, the FAS citizens that are here, feel bad that a small group is making them, drawing this negativity on them. How would you folks address that issue?
Well, I like the idea of Clint Rigel's, I'll give him credit for this one, because he mentioned creating a tribal council or council amongst the FSM in order to bring more community discussion to help address this problem. Again, we have to look at the roots of the problem. Is it disempowerment in our community? Are their needs being met as a society, as a group? So we need to look at the basic life issues and if that's the source of the problem. So again, it would have to take a community effort to address this.
How about you, Jenei?
No, as again, I agree with Sabina and Clint. Like I said, during my work, we work with many different families, a lot of them also from the Micronesian islands. And we noticed that taking a village type approach, talking to their church leaders, talking to their elders, because I know they have little communities that they're very involved with. I noticed that when we take the community approach, we're able to help them a little bit more, because it's not just us telling them you're doing this wrong. It's us telling them, okay, you should look at how you're living and you should try not to live this way. You have to be an example for your children. So that's how I would approach it, take it from a community level. And and I just want to point out that, because I know I've seen everything on Facebook, I follow a lot of different groups. You're right, a lot of people do feel ostracized because of the small group of people. And I just want people to know not all of our brothers and sisters from the FSM are bad. There's a lot of good. I have a lot of friends, and some of them I call family already, and they do a lot of good for our community. So, we shouldn't ostracize a community just because of the bad apples.
Yeah. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about the military buildup. I know that you're heavily involved in that, and from the environmental aspects of it. What is your position on the military buildup?
Well, I feel like the military buildup was done without the consent of the indigenous people of Guam. And as with any, without the participation of the local inhabitants, you'll find that there are disproportionate effects to the people and to the environment. So I see it as a human rights issue, a justice issue. And if we were at the table, we probably would not see this many impacts to our island. And we're talking about the impacts to our sacred sites, impacts to our water, to our livelihood, to our sustainability. So again, it's an issue of human rights and justice for our people.
How about you, Jenei?
Man, as always, I agree with her. Yeah, good, great minds think alike. So I look at it, well, put it this way. Driving to NCS and you see how they've cleared all that jungle and all that land, it saddens me. I don't think they took into consideration the impacts of all of that, coming onto our island. We're a small island already. We already have a lot of issues. I don't think they took that into account when deciding to do the military buildup here on Guam. And what really concerns me is that I have a lot of friends who are farmers. I met a lot of people from the omelet farms, and they've explained to me and expressed to me that a lot of the indigenous plants that they use for medicinal purposes are all there. And so how can we perpetuate the culture if we're not even allowed to go there to show the youth, where the practices that they were taught when they were younger, where to go to get the, certain type of plants for medicinal purposes. So I'm looking at it at the cultural aspect, and I think it really is going to impact our island, and I just think it's a sad issue.
Let me take the contrarian view, because there are a lot of people that are in support of the military buildup because of the economic, progress that it provides. How would you respond to them, saying this is not necessarily a bad thing, it's actually a good thing because it brings in money?
Nah, okay, sorry. Go ahead, no, Chicken Bow. No,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I asked the question, but we got to take a break.
Okay.
We got to take a break.
We'll
We'll get back to this after the break, because
Okay.
I think we'll be right back with more right after this break.
Program that helps positively impact everybody on the island of Guam.
This is my 8th time doing a Strides for a Cure race, and I'm planning on going to 10.
I'm getting ready for the 2K and I'm pumped up.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited because it's really fun.
To come out and join Strides for the Cure. We're here to basically inspire people, get them active, live a healthy lifestyle.
Where can you find a burger inspired by flavors from near and far that mixes the smoky with the sass of the South? Combines the sweetness of summer with the tang of the country for savory, sizzling, unexpected flavors. Well, you can find it at McDonald's. The new Bacon Smokehouse Burger. It's the newest flavor of the signature crafted recipes by McDonald's.
Okay, in the previous break, we talked a little bit about those who support the military buildup because of the financial the aspect of it. Your response to that?
So yes, as critical I am of the military, I feel that we need to do what's at least mitigate, because the fact is they're here. And so we need to mitigate whatever impacts they have here. Economically, we haven't taken full advantage of all these contracts that are coming in. We see these large companies come in, and we don't see that money coming into our coffers. So we need to really develop develop a way in which we can, be able to create revenue from that stream. In addition, people say there's a huge economic benefit, but what we see is that per capita, the GDP is not equitably distributed. And this is the problem with this. And it was stated in the EIS that it was going to be transitory. So something like this is going to impact our island, but we won't see the lasting benefits of it. And it'll affect the true wealth of our society, which is our environment and natural resources.
Yeah, and Jenei?
So before we jump in code, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. I worked at public health where it was a federally funded program. So I can see how the federal government, how we benefited from the federal government, paying for medication for illnesses on island for people who can't pay for it. And these are medications that are $100 per pill, So I see the good that they can do, but I also see that we are suffering from this. Our culture and our island and the environment, we are going to be suffering a lot from this. And I think if they just give us, like I said before, I forgot who I was speaking with, I believe that we're more than just a line item, and they need to be able to give us more say in our island. I mean, obviously that's not happening right now, but if they just give us a little bit more say in on our island, then I think I'll be a little bit more okay with it. I mean, I'm okay with their federal programs because I've seen the good that they can do, but culturally and environmentally, we just need to have more say, a more powerful voice.
Okay, moving on real quickly now. The CNMI just passed, the governor, actually, Ralph Torres, just signed a law which legalizes adult use marijuana. Where do you guys stand on that issue?
Well, I would like to see the medical marijuana be implemented before we even go into the recreational marijuana. It's important to see what the impacts are also with the CNMI. In the meantime, we could see if there's any impacts to their community. I think as a teacher, I'm very cautious about legalizing any kind of drugs, because it could inadvertently impact our youth who are still the developing stage.
Yeah, Jenei?
I can't agree with her more. I mean, I agree with her the whole time. But like I said on a previous interview, we do need to look at the medicinal part and grow that, because, it passed into law, but we still haven't done anything about it. I think once we solidify the medicinal side, then we can look at growing the recreational side. And I'm not opposed to it, because I really think that if we grow the recreational side, this is a great economy booster. Marijuana tourism, it's big in different places in the mainland. But before we can even look at that, we really need to, handle the medicinal side and make sure that everything is square.
As you mentioned, it's been 4 years since the voters passed a referendum saying they want medicinal marijuana, but it has not yet been implemented. Are you concerned about that, and what would you do to kind of get that over the hump?
Well, my hope is that we elect Lou into office, and I know she's a big supporter of implementing that bill. So that would be one of the biggest ways to implement it, is having a governor who supports it. Also, I think the big problem was that there was a lack of laboratory or a way to do the testing, but we do have it. There is a laboratory present on Guam that can do the testing. So I don't see, with the political will in place, with the infrastructure in place, it can happen pretty relatively quickly.
Yeah, and Senator Luis Muñoz has proffered a bill that would allow for limited home cultivation for medically people in need.
So I too agree. It's really hard because I know that it was given to the Department of Public Health, right, to be able to do the licensure and for all the different regulations. And coming from public health already does a lot of other very important things. So I know that they said public health has a lab in place already, but that lab is there for another reason. If we want to be able to grow the medicinal side, we need a separate entity separate from public health, their own lab to be able to do the testing. And that's going to cost a little bit more money, yes, but I think we need to look at the positive impacts if we do have that in place. Like I said, marijuana tourism is something that can grow the economy, and I'm not opposed to that. But we need to get the medicinal side in place first. Political
status. We have three choices. We have independence, we have free association, and I'm told we're out of time, so we can't get to that. We're going to give you, do we have time for them to make a closing statement? Okay, we got to close the show up. Thank you very much for being here. Oh, we got one more block. I'm sorry, we're going to take a short break and be back in just a moment.
Auto appearance specialist Elegant Reflections has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
The Down Syndrome Association of Guam exists to support families of individuals with Down syndrome. We're a group of parents who have children with Down syndrome and know the joys and challenges of raising them. For more information about the health, development, and education of a child or adult with Down syndrome, please contact Vicky Ariola at 472-6114.
Love makes you do crazy things. Like sneaking the triple-double crunch wrap into the theater with double the layers you love. Along with 2 crunchy tacos and a medium soda. Careful, that double crunch may land you in movie jail. The triple-double crunch wrap box from Taco Bell.
Welcome back, and when we left off, we were asking about the political status of Guam, and of course, we have 3 choices. We have independence, we have free association, we have statehood. Let me ask you, Sabina, where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I think it's important that we work towards independence. That would give us the greatest opportunities economically and also protecting our cultural and natural resources. I know people are hesitant because they don't see the concrete path towards it, and that's something that that could be worked on, definitely. And especially now in our fiscal crisis, I mean, people think that's a faraway problem, but I think with a new legislature in place, we can take the steps towards that.
Okay. And Jenei?
I also agree with independence, and I think I've stated this before, the last D18. I believe that if we gain our independence, we're going to be able to save our culture. I mean, I'm Filipina, born and raised here in Guam, but looking at the Philippines and how they've gained their independence, you know, they have a good economy. Yes, it's their poverty line is pretty high, but then they have a thriving economy and they're able to sustain themselves. So I think we do need to look at independence for our people to perpetuate the culture.
Okay. I think I know what your answers will be, but let me ask you anyways. What do you think about the self-determination vote? There's going to be a hearing in Honolulu next month with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And the argument is that it is not discriminatory. What do you say?
Well, a self-determination vote is a vote of the people. It's not like civil rights. It's not where you can vote every election time. It's a one-time vote, and it was meant for the people who were colonized, that were impacted by colonization. So by granting, are you talking about Dave Davies, right?
That's the Dave Davies
yeah.
case,
So by granting him the opportunity to vote, it gave him a special right, because he himself has his opportunity to vote. You know, that the country that he lives in has already established, you know, their path of determination, self-determination, and to grant him the opportunity to determine another country's fate is a special privilege that's been granted to him. So I see that this is an important case, and I truly hope that the courts rule in the favor of the indigenous people of Guam, because it should be granted to the people who have been impacted by colonization.
Jenei?
Very true. I agree with her 100%, and I have to commend Julian again for all his work. I know he posted something that is great news for Guam, and I can't recall the name of the lawyer who's on board with him. But I do believe it's for the indigenous people. You know, like I said, I'm not indigenous. I don't have a right to voice my opinion, but I do believe that the indigenous people need have a right to determine their status.
Okay, I think we have time for one quick question. Okay. Healthcare, the Guam Memorial Hospital, that's been a 30, 40-year problem. Just a perennial shortfall in funding and budget. How do you resolve that?
Yeah, that's a difficult question, and that's something that, you know, we have a $900 million budget, and I feel like we need to do a better job of allocating those resources in addition to improving collections. And I feel that if we can streamline collections where they can garner, you know, tax refunds in order to help with the collections, that's something that we could look towards. And then the other thing is increasing revenues and building our economy. If we can do that and dedicate a fund to the hospital, that would be important. In addition to looking at how we can use these opportunity hubs that was created by the Trump tax bill. Is there a way we can take advantage of that? And the other thing that's really crucial as a senator is we have to make sure that we are able to match the Medicare, Medicaid funding. That's something that we can lose some of that funding, about you know, $100 million I've been told. That's something that as a senator that we really have to monitor before the problem hits us. It's way before the budget process begins.
Yeah, and Jenei?
So I know this question was asked of me the last time I was here in D18, and I didn't get to finish. I believe we do need to beef up collections, but what I want to look at is preventive care, because a lot of the times you have these patients who go there for issues that could have been resolved if they, you know, if they went to go see their primary doctor. I think if we beef up our preventive care and our primary care in the health centers, the community health centers, we can alleviate all the influx of patients going to GMH, and that's what you're looking at. And I could tell you that for a fact, because I've had patients who do not want to go to public health because they said it takes too long, so they'd rather go to the urgent care or the ER and be seen right away. So we just need to beef up our primary care.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Jenei Aguon and Sabina Perez, best of luck in the upcoming election, and we'll be watching out for you. And that'll do it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nestor Leconta. Good night, everyone.
Furniture provided by Furniture Kathy Style. Men's wardrobe by Royal Bix.